The sky turned a bruised purple as Father Chestnut, Mother Hazel, Skip, and Poppy stood huddled in the relentless rain. Suddenly, a jagged bolt of lightning tore through the clouds, striking their ancient oak tree with a deafening crack. A massive branch, their primary shelter for years, snapped off like a twig, leaving their hollow exposed to the freezing wind. The next morning, the world was eerily quiet. Father Chestnut climbed the trunk, his paws trembling as he touched the jagged, splintered wood of their ruined sanctuary. He looked down at his family, his heart heavy, and slowly shook his head. It was over. They gathered their precious acorns, warm blankets, and favorite pine cones into small packs. With one last look at the only home they had ever known, they left the oak tree behind and stepped into the unknown forest. For 3 long days, they walked until their paws were sore and their spirits flagged. The forest felt vast and indifferent to their plight. They first tried a narrow, cramped hollow in a towering pine tree, but the space was too tight for the 4 of them to even breathe. Next, they investigated a hollow near a babbling stream, hoping the water would bring comfort. However, Skip's sharp eyes spotted a fox prowling silently in the tall grass nearby. "It is not safe here," Mother Hazel whispered, ushering them away. They moved on, their shadows lengthening as the sun dipped below the horizon once more. Every rustle in the leaves felt like a threat, and every step felt heavier than the last as they searched for a place to belong. By the 3rd evening, the family sat exhausted under a low-hanging bush. Poppy shivered, pulling her small scarf tight around her neck to ward off the chill. Skip paced back and forth, hitting the ground rhythmically with his tail, his anxiety bubbling over. Suddenly, the air shifted. A great owl landed on a branch directly above them, its golden eyes glowing in the twilight. "Do not despair," the owl hooted softly. "Head east to the hillside. A massive beech tree waits there, strong enough to hold your dreams." Encouraged by this mysterious guide, they walked with renewed purpose until the sun began to set. There, standing tall on the slope, was the beech tree. Father Chestnut scrambled up the silver trunk and vanished into a deep, dry hollow. Moments later, he poked his head out, waving his paws with joy. "It is sturdy and huge," he shouted down to them. Skip bolted up the trunk like a lightning flash, disappearing into the dark opening. Poppy climbed more slowly, clutching her small bag of treasures close to her chest. Inside, the space was initially cold and empty, but that did not last long. Mother Hazel began to work her magic. Spreading their familiar blankets across the wooden floor, she placed their collection of pine cones in a neat, decorative row against the wall. Father Chestnut found a thick, fallen branch and wedged it across the entrance to seal the gap against the night wind. Skip dragged in armfuls of fresh, soft leaves to create comfortable beds for everyone. Poppy carefully stacked their winter acorns on a high wooden ledge, ensuring they were dry and safe. They worked tirelessly, their movements synchronized by love and necessity. They worked until the moon rose high, casting a silver glow over the hillside. That night, they sat together at the entrance of their new sanctuary. Skip leaned his tired head against his father's shoulder. Poppy adjusted her blanket and looked out at the glowing forest below, no longer afraid of the shadows. She reached out and held her mother's hand, feeling the steady heartbeat of her family. The beech tree was no longer just a structure of wood and leaves. It was now filled with their unique scents, their precious things, and their shared laughter. They were finally safe, they were warm, and most importantly, they were together. The journey was over, and a new chapter had begun under the stars.